Alright, you are on the Drift Wizard Twitch stream. We're playing Bleak Faith Forsaken, and we are at the section of the map called the Deluge, trying to tackle the puzzle in the water. And so, only a couple quick kind of reminders I want to give is if you're using mouse keyboard in order to dive, because it took me a while to find this out, you not only hit C, you have to hold it down. And if you're playing with the gamepad, and I'm playing with an Xbox controller, I have it bound to, if I push down on my L stick, that causes me to dive. But you have to keep holding it down. You can't just click it. And so, for example, if you go down 10 feet, you let go of your L stick button, you'll just stay at that 10 feet level. In order to rise, you use whatever is for dodge and roll on your gamepad. For me, I have it set to B, and so that'll make me rise. On the gamepad, on the keyboard, I believe that's your space bar, the default is. I have a Mirage set up. I'm not going to say much about that. If you got to this point in the game, you pretty much know. Spawn point is back here. You work your way around, defeating enemies, where you pick up these handy little things. Hopefully you won't have to use them, but you just might. And they are called Diver's Lung Concoction. And then, for some reason, I'm having trouble equipping these correctly. You should have two of them in one in each slot, and that way you can use two at a time underwater. And for some reason it's only putting it into one slot, and that is problematic. So there's slot 1, you are my witnesses, and I'm going to put more into slot 2. Otherwise you only have like one to use underwater, and these things can be helpful. So equipping that into belt 2, and will it allow me to carry more than... I thought that on one of these runs I had both equipped. Now it's not letting me do that. I do not know why. And I have 119 of them. Maybe you can only use 2 at a time. And that's it. Health is not going to help you underwater. I think that's the only thing I have that's going to do me any good. Glow, no. If you pull this off right, you won't need them. But man, this is a game of seconds. Okay. Yeah, well, we got what we got, and we're going to have to make it work. It says I have 2. In my experience, that's deceiving. Basically, once we get to this and clear it out of enemies, you can see we're looking for... Well, I didn't want to do that, but it doesn't really matter. We're looking for the red lights. I call them stoplights. The first 2 you can swim on the surface and just descend to. After that, you're just too deep, and you don't have enough lung capacity to get back to the surface. So, again, I'm holding down, for me, my L stick, diving down. You can see my oxygen meter there. I just want to drop straight down and walk to it. There's not a very big window. You got to be right up next to this thing for it to work. In theory, I didn't need. I could have just swam on the surface to the second one, and so. But this kind of gives me my bearings. It's off in the distance. I can probably make it from down here, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to kind of angle my way, hitting my B button, which is ascend for me, back to the surface and just drop on it. After this one, I can't get away with that, so it's just beyond this Leaning Tower of Pisa here. And once we get there, I'll lay out the 2 biggest challenges we got ahead of us. So, it's still quite a ways away, so I'll dive. Gray lady down. There is the beastie. Don't know if it's a him or a her. We'll just say it's a she. And she is lethal. if she catches you in open water, I really haven't found out a rhyme or rhythm about her. I just try to keep the business end of her out of my way. And the two challenges you have down here, or three challenges really. Number one, where do you go next? And hopefully I can give you a route to do that that's not too complicated. B is oxygen depletion. Again, you have those two flasks in case of emergency. You really don't want to use them. And so how you route from one stoplight to the next is hugely important, because it's a game of milliseconds, really, whether you run out of oxygen or not. And so Beastie is down there. My next point, I'm here at this second point, I'm looking over the edge. It's going to be, you can see that building, you can see the red glow, and I've made every mistake possible on this one, but it's not in the two rooms. It's actually, if you go beyond the room, it's sitting there, and if you look really close, you can see it there on the platform outside, just beyond that first room. And so what I'd like to do is, again, there's a small window where you stay oxygenated. I like to find as far away as I can get and still get the love from that stoplight. And so you can see I'm losing it now, so I just back up a second. There it is. Try to align myself. And you say, man, that's tedious. Okay, this is a tedious puzzle. And I have to go out and descend at the same time. And so I think you swim faster when you're just not pushing down, like in my case on my L stick. And so I just do it in increments every so often to get down to the level I need to be. So I got pretty much line of sight to my target, and we're going to go for him as far away from as I dare. And here we go. So I'm going to descend, go straight, descend. You got to descend quite a bit. So I think it slows you down when you're descending and going forward or ascending, but I'm not fully sure of that. I've tried it both ways. So we got there with plenty of time. Maybe you can do both at the same time. It really doesn't matter. And then you just want to make sure you're down low enough and close enough to where the oxygen bar goes away. Okay. Our next point, and again, always be aware of Beastie, is right, I believe, I see the red glow right over there. And this one's tricky because there's two floors. And it's not tricky to find it, it's tricky because, like in so many video games, and I can't blame Bleak for this, I found it in the best, highest rated games. It's just a coding thing that walls are not always solid, and sometimes your weapon or your body will partially stick through a wall, and in this case you have a ceiling to contend with that really can be in your way. So I want to find how far away from this stoplight I can get and still be oxygenated before I get the bar. See how far I can cheat. And then I'm going to have to dive. Okay, there's my point. So I'm losing oxygen now, so I'm going to just back up a hair, a couple hairs, and you can see it'll just kind of blink like that, which means I'm still full of oxygen. Get my line of sight, and kind of get my camera where I want it to be, and I'm going to have to go forward and dive. So I'm going to pretend like it doesn't matter. It doesn't slow you down to dive, and holding down my L stick button. And sometimes the challenge isn't so much getting to the area, it's just navigating, like in this case when you have the ceiling to contend with, navigating to the area. So we got to it, we made it. Okay, if my memory serves, this thing will continue to give me oxygen even on the other side of this wall, which is really helpful to get line of sight on your next target. So I'm still being oxygenated even though we're on the other side of the wall. And this is a little tricksy. Okay, I'm losing oxygen there, so I'm going to back up a little bit too. Okay, still losing, so back up again. Again, I want it either to disappear or just to be blinky like that. It's deceiving because it looks like the building on the left has one, but that's just the glow from the one. If you look on the, not the top of the building, but the top floor of the building, you can see it right ahead. This one's tough to get to. For some reason, I was able to make it last time without using up a flask, and that's really the goal. So I'm as far away from, oh, yep. You see how it's slightly emptying then refilling, so I'm going to wait until it refills, and then go. Here we go. And again, I've got to descend. I'm going to go straight. I'm just going to kind of toggle that, pushing down that L button, so I'm going down and just getting alignment with that, essentially so I can stand on that top floor of the building. Under 50%. It looks like we'll make it, but you can never assume. See how close this is going to be? And I'm there. Okay. Okay, I wasn't even paying attention to Beastie that time. I should have been. Our next one, if memory serves, I want to do a little reconnaissance here, which is always dangerous, but I just want to make sure I know where I'm going, and I don't, so losing oxygen, so let's replenish. I think I go this way. And again, I want to find that toggle point. There it is over there. There is a toggle point where, see, I'm being oxygenated. Really, line of sight is best. Just trying to find the straight line and finding that there's my tweak point of oxygen, so I'm still being filled. That's as close as I dare. And we're just going to make a run from there. We're going to have to go straight out and then slowly descend to that level. So going straight. Don't know where Beastie is at, but hoping for the best. Again, I'm confused on if descending, ascending either slows you down any or depletes oxygen more. I don't know. That's just experiment, but I am almost there. Ooh, see how close that was? We got it, but it wasn't pretty. Okay, there are 3 more left. So if you look down here, I'm going to try to get, again, as far away as I dare from the stoplight. Find my oxygen point. Line of sight, if you look into that little cavey thing on the shelf, about halfway up there, you can see our next red light. So we're not heading toward the floor of that cave, we're heading about halfway up. So let me see how far I can cheat and keep oxygen level at max. Okay, that's where I start to lose it. Let me back up, so I'm just maintaining there. Okay, that's our spot. So this one, again, just go for it. Got to descend a bit. It just feels like you swim faster when you're going straight. That's why I just dive in increments, but maybe you can diagonal and it doesn't matter, right? I'm just going to stop saying that. Yeah, play with it and tell me what you think. Again, we're going to cut it close. It's deceivingly further away than at first it appears. Objects in mirror appear farther away than they appear. And I think we got it. Yep, we got it. Next one isn't too bad, I don't believe. It's right there. It's kind of in a crater along the floor. Beastie seems to be less of a threat when you're down here. You have some cover. As I say that, she could launch me at any second. So let me see how. There's my point. So that's. Oh, I'm losing. So let me back up just a skosh. Shall I? Take a drink of water. And go next. Here we go. Haven't had to burn a flask yet. I'm very happy about that. This is pretty much on level. I think we may have to descend a little bit once we get to... Now, for some reason, I'm not losing oxygen, or at least I can't see the bar. I don't know whether that should concern me or not, if they're just being kind. Where is the glowy thing? There it is. Okay, I'm going to drop on it. I wonder why the bar didn't show that time. That's the first time I remember that happening. I'm I'm not complaining as long as I stay alive. Okay, there it is. A little glitchy there. Now, I believe it is... You can see the glow just past that. I want to do a little spying. Actually, I'm just going to go for it. Here we go. We're going to have to ascend a little bit to clear this thing. This is going to be dicey. I can see it, but I'm already at 50%. If I whack this thing at all, I'm toast. I think I'm going to make it. Descend slightly. Descend. 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 Walk up to it. Okay. We got one more. There is that there. Alright. Let's see. Okay. Here we go, folks. We are so stinking close. This is the last red light. I got to this point before, and I looked down there and I thought, ooh, that looks important. Let's swim toward it. I swam toward it, and I wasn't able to engage it in any way. And all of a sudden, I respawned, and I respawned into the zone that looked very glitchy. It was black and white. It was pixelated. It was fuzzy. It looked like, kind of a 2023 version of Pong, in black and white. And I thought, the game glitched, that can't be the right thing to go to. Well, that was where I was supposed to be. It's supposed to look like that. And so I've actually beat this puzzle almost. I had to run a few steps and hit Y without knowing it. And so it's taken me the better part of a few hours to remember what I did to get back to this point. So we are going to swim toward that little UFO looking thing down there, and I think once we get near it, it's just going to glitch us into this little matrix world. So again, I'm not going to assume anything. I'm going to try to find my oxygen point. Yep, there it is. So back up a tad, but we got Beastie doing what she does best, and I don't want her around when I am so close. Maybe that's just part of the game. I'm going to take a peek. She is actually covering what we need. Okay, there it is. Let's get some oxygen. Is there a quicker... Maybe if I hit the corner of the... Okay, I can see a line of sight now. Let's get as far away as I dare. That's it right there. And I just need to swim that way and descend. Worried. Okay. We've done it once. We can do it again. And I still have flasks left. And I just hope this thing does what it did last time. You kind of swim into the whiteness, and I think eventually you just kind of, like that. And I don't think I can have to do anything to it. I think I just, maybe I do, I don't know. Am I dead? Don't kill me here. I can't engage it, and Y does nothing. I have oxygen. Now glitch. I died. How the flip? I'm speechless. No, I did it. Oh, apparently. Okay. This is one of those Elden Ring moments where you have to die to get to the next section. Now look at this. You appear to die, and you spawn into this. Would you make the same mistake I did? That I went off map and it glitched? Well, this is part of the game, and you're actually resetting something. I forget the exact technical word, but there's a little bridge I know we have to cross, and we're looking for this big, there's a big ball high, and there's a little ball that we engage. I think it's this bridge. Oh my, where's the big ball? I don't see the big ball. again, when I got to this place last time, I just respawned. But that's deceiving. I mean, it's just one of those parts of the game where you're supposed to die and go here. And because it looks like a mistake, you think it's a mistake, but it is a cyberpunk-ish kind of game, and this is how they were basically resetting the machine. Another streamer had a better word for it. I think it was the right word for the game. I think I'm going the wrong direction. I don't remember having to go upstairs. So I remember a bridge and a big ball. Don't remember stairs. So I was so worried there for a second. I thought, you're not going to kill me right here. I forgot that you had to die. I just thought it's automatically spawned you into this area, but I freaked out there for a second. If you couldn't hear it in my voice, man, I was just staring at my keyboard. Did not want to go through all that again. Just like other kind of puzzle areas or parkour areas in the game. Okay, it's not that far from... We spawned over there. We got to cross somewhere. I think maybe is this the cross point? As usual, I go twice as far as I really needed to. This has got to be it. I mean, the place is obvious once you get there. Okay. Hard to miss a big ball when everything else in this game is angular. It looks like I'm going to make this twice as hard as it needs to be. What did that... I seem to remember just a regular bridge, not all this. We'll look, but it's here, folks. If I die in here, I may have to invent words to say. Something ain't right. It wasn't... Exploring is a part of the game. That wasn't my spawn point. I think I was over one more. Wonder if I can place a mirage here just to be safe. I would if I died here. No, you can't put a humongous down. I think I spawned there. And I didn't think I really had to do that much to... Or the streamer I was watching who was here didn't have to do that much. Don't want to take credit for something. This is my first time here, guys, other than the time I just immediately killed myself. And it seemed like he went across a bridge and there was this little zone with a circle you had to engage. And he didn't have to do anything crazy. Okay. Let's see if we can get such a view. When you think about it, it's kind of a neat concept. I mean, once you figure out it's not a mistake. I don't get it. We're gonna get it though. I mean, literally, there's no enemies to beat. You have to go engage this thing, and the reset is complete. So we will look. Nothing there. Nothing to see there. Nothing to see there. I mean, there it is. See the big ball? Yeah, we want the big ball. And there's the bridge. It was up one level. I just didn't recall him going up one level. So don't know what it is. Don't know why it's there, but it has something to do with resetting something. And I think we spawn right back into the Deluge. And beyond that, I don't know. And so what I'll probably do is go back and play that. just clear out those enemies and move on to, I am at a spawn point past that. So in theory, I engage that, and recalibration, that's what it's called, a recalibration. So I don't know what got recalibrated, I don't know why it needed to be recalibrated, but hey, it is recalibrated. And it took us back to our homunculus. So instead of having you guys watch me beat up on the guys in the Deluge, I don't know what that does to change things future in the game, but apparently it does. Since I have beat this part of the map, I'm going to pick up that just for future use. Again, if I try to reset it, in theory, if you pick it up, you're supposed to be able to lay it down again, and I get this message, it's not available. If I respawn somewhere, it will be. So I think we're going to call it a stream for now. We got through the puzzle, and hope that helps some of you guys. It's tricky. I mean, literally, I did it by accident, like on my second try, and then it's taken me maybe 3 hours to get it repeated, and thankfully I was able to get it live and everything. So this is Drift Wizard, and appreciate a follow on Twitch as we start this channel, and hope you find it interesting, and we will see you all on the flip side.